Let's get into it, y'all. The California fire is so tragic, so tragic, and nothing for the monthly car payment or student loans. All right. Oh my goodness. Gotta share my screen. I am excited about doing the taking out of context. So I told y'all there was coming. Right now, where are the interviews at? Don't pressure me, but too much, y'all. Interviews will get set up once I move. Now that I'm about to move and then move again, that's when that happened. All right, but here we go. Thousands of Los Angeles homeowners were dropped by their insurers before the Palisades fires. Now, coming out of Panorama, right, we saw home insurance rates skyrocket, continue to skyrocket, and we've seen a lot of insurance companies start pulling out of places like California, like Florida. They're just like, hey, we're not going to cover it. And that's caused insurance rates along with taxes, property taxes skyrocket, go crazy. All right. But we're seeing here that some of these homeowners were dropped. They just so happened to be, in the Palisades fire, line of fire, pun intended. And, what are the chances of that? I'm of the belief allegedly, that there's a lot of satanic stuff going on in California. We talked about this on Taking Out of Context episode. I believe, shout out to Joy Taylor, Joy to the world, Joy to the world. But it's like, maybe God just burning y'all up because there's just so much crazy stuff going on over there. But, who am I to say that? Again, thousands of Los Angeles homeowners were dropped by their insurers before the Palisades fire. This is by Amy Peachy and edited by Anne Marie Lee. Anne Marie is such a common name. This is January 13th, 2025. So this is yesterday. All right, here we go. Pacific Palisades, Los Angeles neighborhood that's been devastated by the Palisades fire. They named the fire anyways, is emblematic. There we go. It's late night, y'all. Of the insurance nightmare, increasingly facing homeowners residing in regions prone to climate disasters. Again, I was talking about like Florida as well. About 1,600 policies in the Pacific Palisades were dropped by State Farm in July. Shout out to State Farm. California Department of Insurance spokesman Michael Solar said in a Thursday email to CBS Money Watch, analysis of insurance data by CBS San Francisco last year found that State Farm also dropped more than 2,000 policies in 2 other LA zip codes, which include Brentwood, Calabasas, Hidden Hills, and Montecito neighborhoods. Now, I don't know. I can just imagine what the average medium home prices of these areas. But my guess is the people who are living in these areas, they probably should be able to, quote unquote, afford a new policy. But again, I'm not too well versed in all the pricing, in the California area. But I know it's expensive in these areas they're talking about in the LA general region. In an email to CBS Money Watch, State Farm said, our number one priority right now is safety of our customers. You ain't got no customers. You dropped them all. State Farm is out of pocket. Hey, yo, Jake, that's crazy that you said this, Jake. Jake didn't say this. Jake might have said this. Anyways, State Farm saying their number one priority is the safety of its customers, agents, and employees impacted by the fires and assisting our customers in the midst of this tragedy. But it seems like they dropped a lot of people. It would be interesting to see how many policies State Farm currently has that were impacted by these fires. That would be interesting. As a quick side note, because unfortunately I do have experience with people getting insurance check due to home fires. To anyone out there who changes their name, and this is mainly for women when you get married, I usually highly recommend to my clients this. My wife did it, but I highly recommend that women, if you decide to change your name, you're taking your husband's last name, you still keep your maiden last name and make your middle name, either drop your middle name from birth and then you just have your maiden name as your middle name. That's what my wife did. Or you have 2 middle names. That's what my mom has. My mom has 2 middle names and her second middle name is her maiden name. That way you still have documentation showing that you are your maiden name. Because I had somebody come in one time when I was a teller, and they brought in their home insurance check, fire casualty. It was from State Farm, ironically, no sponsorship. And the wife had her maiden name on the check. And with insurance checks, especially when they're due to a loss, and all parties who were made out to the check need to have signed the check exactly how it was made out to. And unfortunately, we didn't have any information because she had been with the credit union for over 20, 25 years, whatever it was, something crazy. But it was after they had gotten married, so we had no record of her maiden name. Also, as a note too, ladies, take your Social Security card, the one that your parents got you when you were born, and have that scanned in so you have that documentation on file. But this wife and this husband, they had to get, now mind you, they have an insurance check due to their house burning down. And I'm telling them, hey, I literally cannot help you because this check is essentially not going to clear. It's going to get pushed back because it's not signed properly. And so they had to go get a new check issued and go, all this hoopla. And it's like, hey, I'm sorry. And she's like, I've been with y'all for this long and I don't even know. She said, I don't even know how State Farm got my maiden name because I've only been with them since I got married. I said, I don't know, but I'm not State Farm. So that's just a little note for, y'all to think about if you're changing your name out there. But anyways, State Farm said they worry about their employees, customers, agents, and things of that nature. I got my videos set up correctly. All right, State Farm's decision reflects a trend of private insurers, including Allstate, the big ones, Allstate Farmers Insurance, of dropping California policies or halting underwriting and stopping you in the middle of the process, leaving homeowners with the choice of getting coverage through the insurer of last resort, the California Fair Access to Insurance Requirements Plan. It's only outside of TRICARE, right? I mean, when the government's like, hey, this is insurance that we got for you, California Fair Access to Insurance Requirement Plans. Shout out to California. I mean, we're going to get into Maryland. Don't worry, that's smoke. I was talking about I have for Maryland about the budget deficit that we in over here. Some people make the joke that Maryland is California East, but we ain't this bad. All right, California, I think, is in the conversation being the most poorly ran state. I said this a couple episodes ago. However y'all feel about Donald Trump on the left, that is the way that people on the right feel about Gavin Newsom. You can let Gavin Newsom line up and run against the Vice President-elect Vance if you want to. I can't wait to they get elected so I can stop saying elect. But Gavin Newsom, for people on the right, yeah, man, the last thing you need is for the state of California, unintended, but the situation over there in California, for that to make national news, not just like a fire or something like that, but everything that's going on in California, them laws that have been passed. They passed a new law, I forget what it was, where now they're punishing people more for I'm gonna say petty theft because that's a type of crime, but for stealing, when they had raised it to the point where like you had to steal, if you stole less than $1,000, it wasn't a crime or it was a very minor crime. Like they finally were able to walk that back and start locking people up. But California it's not where that. That's why there was such a mass exodus during the panorama. Prices over there is crazy. The taxes is crazy too. I think they just passed a law where they're providing even more free health insurance to immigrants. I don't want to say they're legal immigrants, but I think it was illegal immigrants. Like, come on, man. And they spent all this money on homelessness. And during that time they spent money on homelessness, the percentage of homeless people increased in the state of California, like ass backwards. All right. But anyways, this plan that people are accessing is also known as the FAIR Plan or forego insurance. They might not get insurance altogether. Unlike car insurance, it's not against the law to not have home insurance. Crazy. The FAIR Plan provides basic fire insurance coverage for properties in high-risk areas when traditional insurance companies will not. What's basic fire coverage? Like, if my house burns down to the ground due to fire because it's burnt down, and you'll give me a check for the house or not? Like, what? That's all I need. This is not like water damage. As a result, homeowners in Pacific Palisades had increasingly shifted to the FAIR Plan, with roughly 1,400 of the town's 9,000 homes covered by the plan in 2024, more than quadruple the number in 2020. All right, that's according to the data from the insurer. In other words, prior to the disaster, about 1 in 7 homeowners were relying on the FAIR Plan. Palisades fire could become the costliest wildfire in history of the number of buildings that have been destroyed, as the structures rank among the nation's most expensive homes. Told you it's expensive, said Daniel Swain, a UK professor. The neighborhood's 9,000 residential units have a 3.1 million median value. That's crazy. That is crazy to think about. So 3 times 9, what is that? 270 million? No. That trillion? Hold on. Nah, it's not trillion. Hold on. I can't do this quick math. Yeah, is it 3.1 trillion? It can't be. Okay, 27.9 billion. Okay, I was about to say there's no way it is. Wait, that's million, billion. No. What? Where's my phone at? What's 9,000 times 3.1 million?
That would be 27,900,000,000.
I feel like I did this incorrectly. There we go. I did do it wrong. Okay, yeah, it's 27.9 billion. I was about to say I had two extra zeros on there. Yeah, that's crazy. So we're looking at almost $30 billion in real estate in this area. Insane. And yeah, State Farm's probably like, yeah, we're not just about to insure, $30 billion and it could all just be due at one time. Yeah, no. Can't blame them with that.